Be me, 27. Landscape architect with a master's degree. Currently working as a freelance garden consultant. Translation: I mow lawns for rich boomers who yell at me about crabgrass. Bank account looking like a binary code consisting only of zeros. Friend calls me up. Says his aunt passed away and left a property to his cousin. Cousin needs help getting the place ready for sale. It's a bit overgrown, he says. Just needs a trim, he says. I agree because I need to eat something other than instant ramen. Drive out to the location. Middle of nowhere, countryside. GPS loses signal, have to navigate by the position of the sun, and sheer panic. Finally find the driveway. It's not a driveway. It's a tunnel of darkness made of ancient oaks and briars. Drive my beat-up truck through, hearing scratches that sound like nails on a chalkboard. Emerging into a clearing. Holy shit. It's not a house. It's a Gothic manor that looks like it eats other houses for breakfast. Vines covering every inch of stone. Roof looks questionable. Windows staring at me like eyes. Park the truck. Step out into knee-high weeds. Silence is absolute except for the sound of my own regret. Front door opens. Expect a witch or a ghost. Instead, a woman walks out. Maybe 30, early 31. Messy bun, oversized flannel shirt, combat boots. Holding a crowbar like a baseball bat. She looks exhausted, stressed, and terrifyingly attractive. Are you the plant guy or the exorcist? She asks. Voice is raspy, like she's been yelling at walls. Plant guy, I say, raising my hands, though I can try to rebuke a shrub if needed. She lowers the crowbar, sighs, rubs her temples. Thank God the last guy took one look at the ivy and drove off. I have a sturdy truck. I'm Sarah. Anon. She gestures to the green hellscape around us. Welcome to Greywood. My great-aunt left it to me. I think she hated me. She leads me on a tour. A bit overgrown was the understatement of the century. This isn't a garden. It's a biodome where nature has declared war on civilization. Rose bushes with thorns the size of shark teeth. Kudzu strangling the life out of statues. A fountain filled with black sludge and what might be a raccoon family. I need to sell it, she says. But the realtor said curb appeal is non-existent. Ma'am, the curb is currently under 3 feet of moss. She laughs. It's a dry, cynical sound. I like it immediately. Can you fix it? I look at the chaos. My degree screams run star. My bank account screams stay, stay. Give me 6 weeks, I say, and a lot of coffee. You're hired. Day 1. Show up with my tools. Chainsaw, heavy-duty shears, machete. Feel like I'm going into the jungle in Predator. Sarah is on the porch, drinking something out of a mug that says, Tears of my enemies. Good luck, she salutes with the mug. I start on the front walkway. Hack, slash, drag. Sweating through my shirt in 20 minutes. Discover that the bushes are actually topiary swans that haven't been cut since the 80s. They look like green blobs of depression. Work for 4 hours straight. Sarah comes out at noon, holding a plate of sandwiches. Ham and cheese. Don't get excited, the bread is stale. I take a bite. Bread is indeed stale. Tastes like Michelin star cuisine because I'm starving. She sits on the steps, watching me eat. So why plants? She asks. They don't talk back, and they usually stay where you put them. Fair point. Humans are overrated. She points to a massive weeping willow near the gate. That tree creeps me out. It taps on my window at night. It's just wind. Or it's the ghost of Aunt Meredith judging my life choices. I can trim it back. Please do, before I attack it with the crowbar. Finish lunch. Back to work. Find a stone bench buried under ivy. Uncover it. There's a family of possums living underneath. We make eye contact. I retreat slowly. Sarah is watching from the window. She gives me a thumbs up. End of day. I'm covered in dirt, sap, and mystery fluids. Walkway is visible. Sarah comes out to inspect. I can see the pavers, she says, sounding shocked. I forgot they were gray. They're actually slate blue, just needed a wash. She looks at me. Smiles, a real one this time. See you tomorrow, plant guy. See you tomorrow, ghost hunter. Week 2. I am now part of the ecosystem. Muscles constantly sore, but the place is transforming. Front yard is clear. Sarah joins me sometimes, wearing gloves that are too big for her. She drags branches to the burn pile. This is therapeutic, she says, snapping a dead branch. Imagine it's your ex, I suggest. She snaps a thicker branch. Kevin never had this much backbone. I laugh. She grins, wiping sweat from her forehead with her arm. Leaves a smudge of dirt on her cheek. I have an urge to wipe it off. Brain says, keep danger, do not touch the client. I point it out instead. You've got war paint on. She rubs it, making it worse. Better? Much better, very intimidating. We tackle the backyard. It's a labyrinth of hedges. Find a hidden gazebo. Rotting wood, rusted roof. Tear it down? I ask. She walks inside, testing the floorboards. They creak ominously. No, she says softly. I remember this. I used to hide here when I visited as a kid. She looks vulnerable for a second. Armor cracks. We can restore it, I say. Sand the wood, seal the roof, plant some jasmine around the pillars. She looks at me. Eyes are green. Like, really green. You do that? It's part of the landscape. Structural integrity is key. You're a nerd, she says, but her voice is soft. I prefer botanical engineer. Nerd. Week 3. Disaster strikes. I'm up a ladder trimming the demon willow. Branch gives way. I fall. Land in a pile of mulch. Ankle twists. Pain shoots up my leg. Let out a stream of curses that would make a sailor blush. Sarah comes running out of the house. Anon, are you okay? She's barefoot. Does not care about the gravel. Kneels beside me. I'm fine, I grit out, just gravity testing me. You're not fine. Your ankle is the size of a grapefruit. She helps me up. Arm around her shoulders. She's surprisingly strong. Smells like old books and vanilla. Hobble into the kitchen. First time I've been inside. Place is a mix of Victorian spooky and modern boxes. She sits me on a chair. Fetches ice pack, frozen peas. Kneels down and puts it on my ankle. Her hands are cool. You're fired, she says without looking up. What? From ladders. You are banned from vertical elevation. I have to trim the top. The ghosts can have the top branches. I don't need a dead gardener on my conscience. Too much paperwork. She looks up at me. We're close. Very close. Kitchen is quiet. Clock ticking on the wall. Thanks, I say. Voice sounds weirdly deep. Don't mention it. She doesn't move her hand away immediately. A moment stretches. Elastic tension. Then a loud crash from the living room. We both jump. Cat? I ask. I don't have a cat. She grabs the crowbar from next to the fridge. Stay here. Like hell, I'm the muscle. Hobble after her. In the living room, a squirrel has fallen down the chimney. It is sprinting around in a panic, covered in soot. Destroying everything. Sarah screams. I lunge. Miss! Hit the sofa. Squirrel launches itself off my head. Sarah is laughing so hard she drops the crowbar. We eventually herd it out the back door. Collapse on the floor, breathing hard. She's still laughing. Tears in her eyes. You should have seen your face, she gasps. It was a tactical maneuver. You face-planted into the ottoman. Tactical, ottoman. She looks at me. Smile fades into something softer. You're fun to have around, Anon. I try. I'm serious. Usually, I just sit here and worry about money and the roof collapsing. Well, now you can worry about squirrels, too. She rolls her eyes. Idiot. But she says it like a compliment. Month 2. Ankle healed. Garden looks incredible. The jungle is tamed. Gazebo is restored. I'm painting the lattice work. Sarah comes out with 2 beers. It's 4 p.m. Union break, she announces. Hands me a cold bottle. Sits on the railing. She's wearing a sundress. First time I've seen her in something that isn't flannel or sweatpants. Brain short circuits. You look nice. I have a Zoom meeting with a buyer in an hour. Gotta look like I'm not a feral bog witch. I think the bog witch look works for you. Charming. She takes a sip. So, the place is almost done. Yeah. Just the rose garden left. Then what? Then you sell it, make $1 million, move back to the city. Silence. She looks out over the lawn. Sun is setting, golden hour light hitting the trees. I hated this place when I got here, she says. And now? Now it's quiet, the air is clean, and the company isn't bad. She glances at me. Heart does a kickflip. The buyer, she starts, he wants to pave the garden, put in a pool and a tennis court. I feel a physical pang of pain. He's gonna pave the gazebo? Yep, wants a modern aesthetic. That's a crime against horticulture. I know. She sighs. I haven't signed yet. Don't. Word slips out before I can stop it. She looks at me, eyebrows raised. Don't sign. I mean, it's your choice. But this place has character. A tennis court? Really? She swirls her beer. If I don't sell, I can't afford the upkeep. And I definitely can't afford you. I'm cheap. We'll work for stale sandwiches. She laughs, but it's sad. You're worth more than sandwiches, Anon. Maybe I like the sandwiches. She hops off the railing, stands in front of me. You're making this really hard. What? Being rational? She steps closer, touches my arm. I have to go to that meeting. Right. She lingers, then turns and walks back to the house. I watch her go. Paint the same spot on the lattice for 10 minutes straight without realizing it. The storm. 3 days later. Massive summer storm rolls in. Sky turns green. Wind howling like a banshee. I'm at my apartment, watching the news. Power flickers. Phone rings. It's Sarah. The power is out, she says, voice trembling slightly. And I think the roof is leaking. I'm coming over. The roads are bad. I have a truck. Sit tight. Drive through the apocalypse. Rain is horizontal, dodging fallen branches. Reach the manor. It looks like a gothic horror movie set. Lightning flashes, illuminating the silhouette. Run to the door. She opens it before I knock. Wrapped in a blanket, holding a flashlight. You're crazy, she says. Customer service. We go upstairs. Leak in the master bedroom. Water dripping steadily onto the floor. I find a tarp and some buckets in the attic. Rig up a temporary fix. Soaked to the bone. You're shivering, she says. It's a bit brisk. Come on. She leads me downstairs to the library. There's a fireplace. She lights it. Take off your shirt, she commands. Buy me dinner first. Shut up. You'll get hypothermia. I'll get you a towel. She leaves, comes back with a towel and one of her ex's hoodies. It'll be tight, but dry. I dry off, put on the hoodie. Smells like detergent and faint cologne. We sit by the fire. Outside, the world is ending. Inside, it's warm and flickering orange light. She pours 2 glasses of wine. To the roof, holding up, she toasts. To the roof. We drink. She's staring into the fire. I turn down the buyer, she says suddenly. I choke on my wine. You what? Told him to shove his tennis court. I'm not selling. Sarah, that's brave, but how will you manage? I'll figure it out. Start a B&B, grow grapes, whatever. She turns to me, firelight dancing in her eyes. I realized I didn't want to leave. The house? The house, and other things. My brain finally catches up to the situation. Other things? She scoffs, moves closer on the rug. You really need everything spelled out, don't you? Structural engineer my ass. I'm a landscape architect. Shut up. She grabs my hoodie strings, pulls me in. Kiss hits me like the storm outside. Chaotic, wet, perfect. My hands find her waist. Her hands in my damp hair. We break apart for air. So, she whispers, does this come with the landscaping package? Premium service only. I can't afford premium. I offer financing options, very flexible terms. She laughs against my lips. You're an idiot. You're idiot. The aftermath. Next morning. Storm has passed. Sun is shining. Yard is covered in debris, but the gazebo stands. We're on the porch, drinking coffee. She's wearing my flannel shirt. I'm wearing her ex's hoodie. So, she says, looking at the mess of branches on the lawn, looks like we have work to do. We? Unless you're quitting. I just got promoted. I'm not quitting. Promoted to what, head of estate management? Something like that. A car pulls up the driveway. It's the realtor. He gets out, looking slick and annoyed. Sarah, I heard about the offer rejection. Are you insane? He stops. Sees me. Sees the hoodie. Sees her in my shirt. Looks between us. Oh, he says, I see. Sarah smirks. Takes a sip of coffee. Sorry, Dave. The property is off the market. We're going into the vineyard business. We? Dave asks. We? I confirm. Do you know anything about growing grapes? Dave asks, skeptical. I look at the tangled, overgrown vines on the south hill. Look at Sarah, who is looking at me like I hung the moon. Not a clue, I say. But we're quick learners. 6 months later. Be me, 28. Co-owner of Greywood Vineyards and Bed and Breakfast. Business is chaotic. Plumbing broke last week. A guest claimed they saw a ghost. It was just Sarah in a sheet trying to scare me. We haven't made a dime of profit yet. But the garden is immaculate. The vines are pruned. The gazebo is covered in jasmine. I'm in the dirt, planting bulbs for spring. Sarah walks out, holding a tray. Sandwiches. Ham and cheese, I ask? Turkey and Swiss, and fresh bread. Moving up in the world. She sits next to me in the grass. Hands me a sandwich, leans her head on my shoulder. Hey, Anon? Yeah? You missed a spot over by the fence. I'll get it later. Good. She closes her eyes. Sun is warm. Smell of earth and jasmine. Bank account is still empty. Back still hurts. But I've never been richer. Hey, Sarah. I think the demon willow likes me now. Don't push your luck, plant guy. Wouldn't dream of it. We sit there, eating sandwiches, watching the grass grow. Life is good.